Okay. I am. No, I'm not. Well, I know how it goes. I'm not alleged. I did. Okay. We'll be there in a minute.
What's good, everybody? What's good? We are back on Go. Now, listen, today we are looking at the latest developments in the Karmelo Anthony case. The appeal has officially reached the Fifth Court of Appeals, and we're reacting to legal analysis by the Public Opinion Court. So the big question here today is, was Karmelo Anthony railroaded by his own defense? So let's break down the appeal, the law, and the arguments, and then we'll all react to what they're saying. So salute to everybody. Good morning. Welcome to On Go. I'm Oota. I want y'all to drop a like. I want y'all to vote on the polls because I will be changing that poll shortly. And I want y'all to subscribe, share the video if you can, and make sure that you're notified when we are dropping new content. So salute to everybody. Let's get right into the Public Opinion Court and her breakdown of was Karmelo Anthony railroaded by his own defense.
You can't even blame the prosecution. This is the defense fail. It's your job now that this evidence is coming in. The defense has to absolutely do their job, and your job now is to take. I have a case coming up next week. I listen to the audio, made my clips, and then I record it and I make transcripts of it for myself, and I go through and I listen to it over and over and over and be like, oh, did you hear that? Did you catch that? Did you catch that? And then I try and strip away the audio if I can to make sure I can hear what is going on. As the defense dropped the ball. You can't even blame the prosecution. This is the defense fail. It's your job now that this evidence is coming in. The defense has to absolutely do their job. And your job now is to take, I think my colleague told me today, the evidence professor she had, which is at the same school I went to, said that evidence is like a brick wall. They're like bricks, right? Like you either gonna build them up, and it's our job to tear them down as the defense. And there is no way possible that you are absolutely given this discovery. You knew these statements were coming in, that you didn't go in and listen and enhance that audio. Defense failed. That wasn't a prosecution fail. The prosecution did their job by saying, I'm giving you evidence as it comes. It's not my job for you to go find the exculpatory thing. I gave it to you. You had it. It'd be one thing if they had taken it and made it where it's impossible to, do it. They had it and they failed. So I say my take is that that's not a prosecution issue. That was a defense failure, and they failed miserably because those were very crucial statements. I absolutely would have wanted them statements, and I would have used them absolutely because they were actually beneficial to the defense for self-defense. So
it was very beneficial. What do you say about the information that is out now that wasn't the original video? Because a lot of people don't understand that, yes, you can have altered or enhanced evidence entered into evidence, but it has to have it has to be attached to the original. You can't enter the enhanced without the original. And I'm not talking about the original from the standpoint of what you went and enhanced. I'm talking about the original from the school board, the district that had the original. And on top of that, there's another original for the actual who has access and owns the equipment for that video, because it's not owned by the school, it is contracted. They contract this company to come in and provide video. And what I've seen is the state only provided surveillance video. No. We want every ounce of video. And I feel like they got over on that, but not necessarily over because the defense should have came under and said, oh, we have an issue with Brady. Because what people don't know is that the state, as soon as a crime happens, they are, regardless of if the witness comes today or tomorrow, anybody that is attached to the case is under the care, custody, and control of the state, and they have to go out and get it for the defense, regardless of if they use it or not. But the defense laid down like some dogs with.
They damn sure laid down like some dogs. But besides that, when you look at the surveillance footage, The footage doesn't start from maybe hours before the whole day. It starts basically right around the time of the whole incident. So, and then when you go to the Huddle app, where you can see Carmelo's football games live, you can see that there's a middle camera that shows exactly directly pointed towards the tent. We don't have that footage. We got some northeast footage, some southwest footage, right? The footage starts exactly when the boys are walking inside the stadium. Why we can't see everything else? Then we wouldn't have to argue online whether Karmelo arrived first, whether Austin arrived first. We wouldn't have to wait for the transcripts, right? Because we have to wait for the appeals process, because the appellate court tells the court reporter, send up all of your records up to the appellate court. They go through all the records, then they drop it down. Then we're able to access the records. I spoke with the court reporters from Collin County. This is what's happening. They have to wait for the appellate process. Then after that, they're going to let the transcripts be free for everybody else, freed out. But you still have to purchase them. They're going to let them out, but you're going to have to purchase them. So do you know that there's a process still that has to happen? But the video was shady though, man. Where it start. So it's edited footage. Whether you want to say it's edited or not, it's editorial footage because it's been put to certain positions of the video already. If you go to the entrance cam video, it already starts and then it zooms in by itself. So it goes, you see Austin walk in with the two boys, you see Hunter walking with the one guy, and then you see it automatically zoom in to where the tent is automatically. I'll bring up that footage to show y'all again. But the footage is kind of weird to me.
With fleas on. So what do you say to knowing that there was an additional video that witnesses have even came out and said they viewed this video at ISD and it's a record of it, and they said it was HD. They could see bodies on bodies on bodies. They saw Karmelo being attacked by 4 individuals, but there was also tied to an NDA, so they couldn't say anything that they thought they could, because legally they could.
So it's still
tied to an NDA that they thought they couldn't say nothing, but legally they could. That's crazy. I think that's crazy. Is that true? Wow, that's nasty work if that's the case.
I think I'm going to bash the defense a lot because I feel like they failed.
Have fun.
But I think that in this case, it's a double-edged sword, right? You have the prosecution who was supposed to turn over all the evidence and they failed it, right? So there we do have a Brady violation, absolutely. And it is the shaky part about it is when you do go for a new trial or something like that, you're going back to the same judge who you had, and you're actually going back to the same county that you had, right? If you're trying to get one. And that's just how it goes. So imagine this is already the judge who already has kind of already screwed your case, right? So let's look at it. You were given this discovery. Let's just say you now see that they got this new video, but you relied on it. In one hand, you say, well, we relied that the state was moving in good faith. The state did not move in good faith, and the state presented it ready and said that the state said they gave us all evidence that they had, and they did. That was the state. They sworn to that, so they're bound to that, right? A real judge would say, absolutely not, it's a Brady violation. You know it, we know it. Mm-hmm. This is a trial. But in this county, I feel like all the judge would say is, but the defense could have went and got it themselves. They knew there was video. If they didn't trust the video, they could have went and got it themselves. My thing is, the moment that these defense attorneys got into this case, the game was already played dirty. It was all dirty. There is not a time that I would not have sent an investigator to backdoor videos myself. A lot of times I subpoena the videos myself instantly from the place. Like, if I even know of an incident, I'm subpoenaing the videos, and you can't tell me no. You can disobey it, but now I can go get a body attachment on you because I know you didn't give me what I said I wanted. You have to play offense and defense at the same time before you get to the actual trial. You're on offense. You better start moving, because if you wait on the state is not going to do anything for you. And I would have absolutely disagreed with them even playing that enhanced video because it's not even remotely the same video. So they should have never done it. But again, it goes to show you that if the defense didn't object to it coming in, if the defense knew about it going in, the defense never even thought that it wasn't the right video because the defense didn't even try to go figure it out. Why are we now getting everybody saying this isn't it? This is not the video. They could have talked to those same witnesses who supposedly were under NDA. Every witness is fair game. I want to know who all you talked to there. Who all was there? You don't get to. They don't get to hide that from the defense. So they had to have known they talked to all these other people. Did y'all go talk to them? Did you try and show them the video? They didn't do that. So I think the defense failed him across the board. I do hope that, because of the circumstances surrounding this, that he gets another judge to look at it and decide if they believe that this should be a new trial. But it absolutely is a Brady violation. Even the fact that if the audio, the SAC providers, the audio is not new.
They already put motions in, man. They're already trying to get the judge recused, period. Because when you ask for a new trial, guess who it goes to? It goes to the same judge. You think the judge going to say, oh, okay, let's look over this and let's do a new trial. No. So they also asked for a new trial. We're going to see it on the next video that I play when we go into the Fifth Court of Appeals. They asked for a new trial, and they asked for the judge to most definitely recuse himself so that they can have a new judge with new eyes on this whole situation. That's how that works, all right? We're going to get into that next. So make sure you stay on go. Make sure y'all all liking. Make sure y'all all voting on the poll because I will be changing the question shortly. Salute to all of y'all. Hopefully y'all all having a good day so far.
Evidence because you could have enhanced it. Mm-hmm. But the video itself, if you're telling me, but what I guess I'm a little worried about is whether or not they had the actual video. Like if the defense had that video the whole time and chose not to, then that's again, it's good on appeal, ineffective assistance of counsel, right? But that's way down the line. That's not necessarily a new trial issue. So that sucks.
You know what a getcha gotcha is the state and the colluders did not anticipate that the public was going to do the checks and balances, because one thing about us, baby, when it comes to the blacks, when it comes to niggers, baby, we are the best investigators. Baby, we're going to find you or whatever you are hiding. I don't care how far, how wide, how long, and how tight. We got to go by doing it, because that's why I always say we are a threat. We are a threat because we don't think on these lines. Baby, we going, listen, we taking it through there. And we going to come back with something. We coming back with something. And that's why when we were doing, after I did the interview with Freezy.
Can't say that about everybody, depending on the public opinion court, because he had that lawyer up there. What the lawyer did for him, he ain't take it through there. He ain't take it through there. That's one person ain't take it through there was that lawyer. And the defense was pretty shoddy. Some people saying that maybe him not testifying, because if he did testify, if he does get a new trial, then the prosecution won't have his testimony to break down and to be going and sifting through. So they won't be able to prepare for what Karmelo's going to say this time around if he does get that new trial. So it could be strategy, some people are alluding to, but we don't know, man. Just based on how everything went, a lot of people think the defense did a lackluster job, man. Some people even think he was railroaded,
And to come to find out, because the state has, the AG put a block on anyone getting the video from the school, because they put in the FOIA with the school, and the school will automatically send it to AG, because at this point,
because they're represented by them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but the gotcha is they don't even need to go through the AG, because there's another way to get it. Now, I ain't putting it out there because I shared it with who needed to go to, because that's another layer of prosecutorial misconduct. There's another layer of Brady. And we all know Michael Morton is also a part of Texas. And not only do you have to follow the Constitution, you have to follow the oath that you took as a lawyer. You also got to follow Brady, the federal rules of evidence, and Michael Morton, because Michael Morton was the result of a detective taking evidence to his house and leaving it there that was contributing to his innocence. So what they said, I don't care what it is. If it's a piece of your nail that got caught in the paper and you can't you turn it, that's a part of discovery at this point. It's married.
Evidence.
So to know that this video alone, the original wasn't admitted into evidence, because now you are violating the jury's ability to be fair and impartial. And that's something that they're required to do. And they can't do that from the standpoint of your tainted, altered, enhanced evidence. And for the life of me, I don't know what real judge would allow that kind of enhancement that actually distorts the validity of the alleged crime scene.
There was no point of even playing that video, to be honest. To me, it showed absolutely nothing. And I would have said, what are we looking at? What is it what are they trying to show here? It's not, we don't even know who's who. You see people running, but what are they running from? All them people under that, I'm certain you could tell who was under the tent with the other video when we saw it in hands. This is not it.
Mm-hmm.
And no, but
wasn't it, bruh? I'll bring up the entryway video right now. Crystal clear 4K. Austin walks in with his friends. Hunter walks in with one friend. Okay. As soon as they walk by the entrance camp through the front gates, instant VHS. We watching Lion King. Now all of a sudden, we back in Sanford the Sun. We watching Video Music Box. What's going on, bro? What happened with the video? What happened with the video, homie? Come on, bro. Don't do this with me, man.
It just shows you the judge was doing what he was going to do. This is exactly what he wanted to do. You can tell when the judge is putting that finger on that scale and saying, this is going to go a certain type of way. It's happened too many times. But in this case, the evidence that we are seeing, or the little pieces, I don't even know if that's enough to convict. So I'm like, what evidence did they even have? All this testimony of everybody is saying, oh, he was the aggressor. Why didn't they bring in all them other? First of all, I got so many things I just think about, like the fact that why didn't the defense subpoena his family? Like, why did you?
They didn't want to get into that. I know the prosecution didn't want to go into Hunter and Austin background. I know that, bruh. Probably Dennis the Menace for all we know. But look, Austin's mother came out recently and spoke on a situation with the twins involving some cheerleaders. I'm going to bring up that email too. I'm going to have to get into that email specifically when the girl was like, listen, she told on the brothers, talking about, yo, they acting crazy, all type of. Why? Because they was criticizing their own team, the cheerleaders of their own team, Austin's cheerleaders, right? Said, yo, the team trash. Actually used the SHIT word. But he over there beefing with them and all that. The mother said, Hunter, Hunter gonna do that. It's how Hunter be. Austin's a little more cooler, but that's how Hunter is. You should have heard the email. The girl was so scared. She said, listen, don't tell them it's me. I don't want them to find out it's me. I'm scared of what could happen to me. What kind of thing? Why you not bringing up this? Why you not going into their background? You think the prosecution wanted to go into their background? We already know. It all starts from the event. The defense wants to go from the event backwards to figure out what happened. The prosecution want to start from the event and move forward, and that they don't want to go back into the background. They don't want to go there, because if they went back into the background, you might see that the brothers was probably on some Dennis the Menace type vibes, right? They didn't want to go back into Karmelo's history. Why? Because Karmelo history was clean, bruh. People saying that he was this, he that, he was a King Vaughn, bruh. His background was clean, bruh. You don't think that the prosecution would have brought that up if it wasn't? No, they just convicted him on what was there from the situation in front of him. That's all. They didn't go into his past. This is a fact, bruh. Think about it. Anytime one of us chocolate-faced people on the news get caught up in anything, you could have had no record. They said, you know what? He did steal some sunglasses from Woolworths when he was like 7. He stole candy. He stole some Jolly Ranchers when he was about 15. They bring up everything about you, brother. They ain't going to no. They ain't bring up nothing with Karmelo background. Why not? There wasn't nothing to go there. And if they went there, they would have probably found more things in the twins' background than in Karmelo's. Point blank, period. Straight, bro. It's a fact. And I'm going into the appellate court, the 5th Court of Appeals. That's going to break down a lot for us. So y'all want to stay for that video when we start to break down the appeals. That's another attorney that's going to be breaking down. I got all of the documentations pulled up too as well, so we could kind of follow it along. But trust me, we want to see that process of how the 5th Court of Appeals are going to deal with everything.
Not subpoena his mom and his brother. I'm going to bring y'all on the stand, treat you as hostile, and I'm bringing up every interview that you stated when you talked about your brother putting his hands on him. Why are we forgetting all the interviews they made in the beginning?
No.
It's just so many things they didn't do.
What just came to mind is the prejudicial effect of the way that enhancement was, because they only shine light on Karmelo. So to me, that is highly prejudicial. And you mean to tell me you didn't go and highlight the real criminals that was on that video? Because but for the bullying Metcalfs, Karmelo would never have been attacked. So now that I'm thinking about it, that's a freaking argument that should have excluded that video unless you go and do the same thing for the individuals that are a part of the altercation. How do you not highlight the individuals that are part of the altercation, but you only highlight the alleged defendant? That's very prejudicial.
It's extremely prejudicial, but again, like I said, they allowed them to play in their face and put the video in that they want to put in. The defense had them videos, even with that video, even when it wasn't enhanced. Let's talk about, let's get the enhancement, the pulled and distorted one. It was a wide range. It had plenty of room for you to start saying, who's that person? Who's that person? Who's that person? Who's that person? They didn't do, you have to dismantle what they have going on the prosecution side. But also the problem is that too many defense attorneys are really not about that in trial. They're just not good. I want to be very fair. They're not. And even if they were, if you as a defense attorney don't know how to put on a case, and you don't know how to put on a case, yes, most people think
got to put on a case, bro. I don't care. But like Grumpy saying, usually they typically don't attack the victims in a case. I get it. There's one victim in this case, right? That's Austin, not Hunter. Hunter, no victim, sir. Hunter is the instigator, the first person that started the uckery. Okay, let's get this clear. Okay, why we can't go into history and see what's going on with you? Why not? Why not? We ain't trying to smudge him out. R.I.P. to Austin Metcalf. I don't think he deserved to die. I don't think Karmelo should be doing 35. They both young kids, my son's age. Period. Point blank. They kids. Where was a damn adult? Why was an adult gotten to come deal with this whole situation? Point blank, we wouldn't be here talking about this right now. And she wouldn't be looking like that with her little hair flicking right now. And I wouldn't be here looking at her ass too. Facts alive. Facts alive. Right? Blair. But at the end of the day, you got to go into characters, bro. The defense ain't even call no character witnesses. Come speak on his behalf. Shady as hell, bro. That shit was shady as hell, bro. That defense was shady as hell.
We shouldn't have to put on a case. In this case, you put on a case. I'm calling every witness. The state is, why is this? The state ain't putting him on the stand. There's a reason. The state will not put you on the stand that they can't use to make their case, to fit their narrative. I don't want your narrative. So I'm going to bring everybody in who immediately responded. You had the right people. Why wait till cross when you only can cross on what they've asked on? Everybody doesn't allow a wide range of cross. When they don't do like you're narrowed down. Me, I'm going to open it up. I'm bringing you back and I'm treating you as hostile. I don't have time to waste time if you're not going to do it on the prosecution side because they don't want to paint a story for you. It's your job. You had a job. And I just, as much as it was prosecutorial misconduct and it was heavily a judge issue, I think he has a stronger ineffective assistance of counsel argument because they were so trash. If a trash can could be the size of earth, they should be in it.
Yes.
Over, they were trash and they know they're trash. And that's what I'm saying, because there's just no way. Why didn't you anticipate these people? Why didn't you anticipate everybody who was there? Why didn't you know they had witnesses who had signed the NDA that didn't be there? That didn't make them not be witnesses. That meant that the prosecution wasn't calling them. Why didn't you call them? I'm sorry. I'm just, you gotta, it really.
No. That's a good point, because a lot of people don't know the procedures and the process that goes on. So I would say this: when I was sitting there during the trial and everything was just flowing, and a lot of the bloggers and the independent journalists that was there, they were very concerned. And from a person that knows how you take care of a lot of things on the back end, like pretrial motions, that will streamline the actual trial and prevent gaps. And it will also afford the jury not having to have these long waits. So you handle a bunch of the motions, the discovery prior to trial, so that all of that is predetermined. Now, a lot of stuff can be a lot of stuff is put on hold. And they always say, you open the door. That means when the judge say is excluded unless you open the door, that means that the burden hasn't been met for this particular piece of evidence or statement to come in. Now, if it comes at time, yes, we can have a hearing outside the presence of the jury, but out of abundance of caution, it's excluded until. That's what pretrial motions are. So I'm sitting there, I was like, just to be honest with y'all, we don't know what the pretrial motions look like, what kind of, hearings they had, because he closed the case off for us not to have access. And now we understand why. Because listen,
that was weird as hell. They locked off the case, talking about we trying to contain it. We don't need it to be no scracial situation. Lies, homie. All that did was pollute everything, make everybody want to guess wonder. We only could listen to, you can't even listen to legacy media. Non-legacy media people was allowed in the court case, right? No real independent journals every single day, even though people had to get up crack of dawn when the roosters was crowing. Neek at night, Queen Sheba, my sisters and them had to get up in that building. Facts of life, right? But this is how you start to pollute stuff. This is how information starts to get mixed up now. Let people get to see what's going on. Let cameras be in that court. This is a state case, sir. Why weren't we able to see it? Were they trying to hide something from us? Right? We had all been watching the video live like this. Side eyes on a video like this. Looking at you like your grandmother when you come in like 12 o'clock at night. You know your grandmother with that late thing. You're like this. She looking at your eye thinking you smoking. She bugging. You thought she was sleeping. We all the side-eyed that video up in there. Bruh, why they never let us see the videos? Why they never let us see what happened actually in court? It would have saved a lot of people a lot of trouble. People out there getting scracially attacked out there, Neek and Night, getting scracially attacked out there. Racist and all type of thing going on. Huh? Could have saved some people some trouble. Could have been in our goddamn living room watching the damn case. See what I'm saying? It's just real. Come on, bro. That's why I don't know what Judge Roach, even though I spoke to some people that is out of Collin County, worked out of Collin County. You know what I mean? Some people ain't had too much bad to say, but they from out there. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't expect you to really say something when you from out there. You probably scared of a room when Jesus come. You probably scared of when Jesus come. I don't know what's going on, brother. I don't know. Show me. But come on, bro. That is what contaminated everything from the beginning. We can't get in there. Only non-legacy medias, right? You got to get up crack of dawning, right? They didn't show us the case. Why can't we see the case on TV? It's not a federal case, bro. Diddy's trial was a federal case. We was in the building, okay? You couldn't use phones and nothing like that. I went to Weinstein's case. It was down the block from Diddy's trial while I was covering Diddy's trial. I went down the block. It was in state court. I went to it. Went in there with my phone like this. Yeah, shut up. Filming and all that. Excuse me. Oh, that's my cameraman too. They like, oh, that's your cameraman? Okay, cool. Right up in the building, show my press pass. You dumb or you dumb? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Press. Excuse me. Side on them like Barry Sanders got up in the building. Filming in the court. They knew that case we'd have all been able to film. Everybody in there would have been able to use their phones in there. You think they wanted all of that evidence out? You think they wanted everybody's eyes on this case? No. In federal court, you can't film. In state court cases, you can film it. Bruh. You understand that? We all can film, not just press. If you get your ass up in there, you can film. They didn't want that. That's why I thought the fix was in. Straight.
I would have been on that. Hold on now. Not Judge. Your Honor, I would have been contacting the daddy. I would like, Drew, I I ain't trying to get interfere with that man's job, but he ain't doing that. Ain't right. You find somebody, Drew. We got you. That ain't right. But they did that in order to exclude and suffocate. And I would say this, even though I don't have respect for the advocate that I believe.
Ryan, listen, everybody's able to have their own opinion here. It's not an echo chamber, so you can have your own opinion, bro. But you're not going to tell me racists ain't attacked my sister Neek out there, bro. Neek ain't no liar, bro. I don't care if you think who's a goddamn clout chaser. She got more subscribers than all of. What the hell she got clout chase for, bro? She been on 300. What are you talking about, bro? She Leonardo Spartans, bro. She Leonidas, bro. She been on 300. 300, the Spartans, bro. You got subs already, bro. What are you talking about? I'm not saying people with a lot of subs can't clout chase, but at the end of the day, you seen them tears, bro. That was real, bro. I spoke with her on the phone when it happened, bro. You talking about on the phone. She called me. I called her. Yo, what's going on over there, man? Period, point blank. I was talking to her every day, calling her phone every day of the trial, on phones with people there. I covered Diddy's trial with these people. Mel, watching the World 777, Queen Sheba, yeah, Neek at night, yeah, my man, Sherrod the Ock from TikTok, Nick Nack, my sis, that's on TikTok. What are you talking about, bro? I wasn't watching what legacy media, the news was saying about this case. I was talking to real people about what they seen, the notes that they were taking, and that's the information that I took into my mind about the trial, bro. You cannot believe everything that the news tell you. They telling lies to your vision, homie. You remember that? Telling lies to your vision. I'm not stupid. That's why I was supposed to be there. I actually had my plane ticket to go there, right? But I had to take care of my kids and shit like that. That's a fact. I was supposed to be at the trial, bro. So I wouldn't even be talking from a third party. I'll be talking because my ass was there. Unless somebody been racist to me. It'd have been not only Red Bulls gave your ass wings. I bet your ass would have got some wings that day. Hacks of life. Hacks of life. Okay, Ryan? So have your own opinion, but don't call my sister a liar because she ain't lying. So you probably listening to Sarah Fields or some dumb shit. Listen, bro. I'm telling you the facts of what real facts is. I called and was speaking with her like this on the line. It was tight. I wasn't there to come deal with a racist out there in front of that damn court. Straight. And I ain't going to be beating down on my sisters like that. What you think this is? 1846? We ain't in them days no more, bro. Them days done.
Started a lot of the end of what happened to this case with the rhetoric. If what he said about Mike Howard, them having having a back and forth, that may have well be true because they probably didn't want him around anything that could be their checks and balances. So if there's anything that I can probably give him an ounce of, yeah, I can see how they have, because we see what happened to the trial, because they did not have an advocate around them to actually check that they were doing. Now, what they have now is the setup that should have been, but we can't talk about should have been. I believe that they suffocated that family from having outside because they also didn't want me in the courtroom. I ain't let y'all know that. Yeah. So word got back to me because we were there. They only had Black media.
Yeah, I can speak to that too. How they was hating on Neek from even getting in the courtroom. Even the officers that was there, I didn't have to wait for no Freezy interview. Okay? I'm the one that set up the Freezy interview. Dumb you dumb. My name is Oota, the last shooter. Did I come and bring her to my town as my sister? She could have came and told me the whole story right here. I already knew the story in my head. Already knew it. Was talking to her earlys in mornings, late at night. Yo, what's going on out there? She getting up crack of dawn at 4 o'clock to make it to the goddamn court. No sleep. People skipping the lines, all types of shit going on, bro. After you done waited on the line since crack of dawn in a racist town. Anything can happen to your ass out there. It's a fact, bro. It's a fact. It's a fact. And I don't have to get into it. But this is a fact. I don't want to be talking about everything, bro. Uta be behind the scenes with it. Straight up. Like a real one do. Ryan, have your own opinion, bro. Everybody have their own opinion. I'm not trying to sway nobody's minds here. I'm speaking my mind. You in the chat speaking your mind. You don't believe? Don't believe, bro. You probably believe Santa's real. I don't know what's going on, Ryan. Your name probably Brian, for all I know. But I ain't gonna put the L in front of that and take away the R and say that you lying, boy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna leave it be, Ryan. I'm gonna leave it be. Have your own opinion, sir. Have your own opinion.
Now I'm giving y'all an exclusive. So y'all want this exclusive? Y'all better be liking, sharing, and subscribing and share. Like, do it now. Do it now. But because they did not allow Black media, they only had 9 designated media, legacy media. Legacy media mean white media. White. That's it. Alternative and say, oh, they're local. They have not been covering this case from the inception the way that we have. We have reported more extensively on this case. They just make it a issue when it's something that needs to be reported. No, we've been on the ground. So if you were not a part of legacy media, you only had 27 slots for the public. What they didn't tell you is they were also giving those slots to media. So we would have to be there at the crack of dawn, because I was there on the behalf of the family, the Anthony family, to also make sure that the right story gets out.
Cool. I never knew that. Salute to her. I never knew that. That's, you know what I mean? That's cool, man. You know what I mean? She was on side. Salute to that. You know what I'm saying? I know who's one person that should have never been on side, huh? That damn Dominique, whatever his name, Alexander, whatever his name is. Man, sound like a damn fool. I don't know how he got to be the spokesman or anything. He probably came and tried to give him some money, allegedly. How the hell he got in the building? He the spokesman. That man hurt them more than he helped them. Let's keep it a buck with each other. Straight cheese. We ain't lying about this. That man plumb fool, bro. When I seen how that man did him on the news, I said, why is this man even talking for these people, bro? Why is he? You could have had a ventriloquist talking for you. You could have had a person that's miming on the news like this. Talking for you, bro. He wasn't supposed to be speaking for nobody. Bro.
Being that I have utilized my ability, my skills, and my assets to make sure that this family knew that throughout this process, if y'all have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate. Well, word on the curb is when I checked in to make sure that I was present the following day as required, oh, we're out of passes.
You know, the story was shaky grounds, homie. Salute, Lee. I appreciate you, unlikely. Salute to my bro. Make sure y'all follow my bro in there. Listen, though. It's nasty work, bro. It's nasty work, bro. Sister, your head is hearing and all of that. Shout out to my next sister that's over there doing her thing. You know what I mean? Shout out to my sisters, man. Okay, cool. We're going to get back to them. We're going to get back to the regularly scheduled programmings on them. But listen, though, at the end of the day, everybody's open to have their own opinion here, bro. This ain't no echo chamber, bro. Say what you want to say. I'm not here to change nobody's mind, bro. We just speaking about what we speaking about it. I just like to speak about the facts of what I deem facts to be. Point blank. I may give y'all a little entertainment. We might have to, because it's real. We in show business, homie. What you think this is? Your business? This ain't your business. That shit dry as hell. This Oota shit. So I'm saying. So we got to get into this though as well. So let's get into this as well. This is most definitely something that we got to get into. Shout out to my girl, Counsel Gray, who's an attorney as well. And we got to go into a quick breakdown, bro. We got to go into a quick breakdown and get into the 5th Court of Appeals and the paperwork. I got all of the paperwork, all of the documentations pulled up as well, so we can take a look and a gander at the process. The Court of Appeals talking to the court reporter saying send up all the documents, everything that's happening within the case and within the appeal. All right. Salute to everybody. Make sure you're all dropping a like. Make sure you're all hitting the poll, sharing this video if you can, liking, supporting the channel in every way that you can. Salute. I appreciate that.
Court of Appeals. And we're going to get into, because here are we have actual PDFs of these things. Only, let me see. No.
The other PDF. Hopefully y'all ain't out there being PDFs in real life. You all right? Y'all take y'all damn time out here, you all right? Straight up. In my damn chat, hope y'all ass in a PDF telling me about something.
No. Only one of them is really significant, but I'm going to tell you everything that you can get from that. So here we have the parties, right? The state of Texas, this is the criminal. And you guys may have heard in my other video, I said that in cases like this, the prosecuting attorney I was on this page and did not share it with you guys. All right, so this is his case in the Fourth Court of Appeals. I'm sorry, the Fifth Court of Appeals. And we're going to get into, because here are all we have actual PDFs of these things. Only, let me see. No. Only one of them is really significant, but I'm going to tell you everything that you can get from that. So here we have the parties, right? The state of Texas, this is the criminal. And you guys may have heard in my other video, I said that in cases like this, the prosecuting attorney has the entire strength and weight of the entire state of Texas to bring to bear on this prosecution. The defendant only has the defending attorney and whoever else in their firm can be deployed onto this case, right? Sometimes that's one other person. Sometimes it's just a paralegal. Sometimes it's just a secretary if a defense counsel does his own paralegal work, right? So the fact that he's now coming in here with a bunch of heavy hitters is directly to counter the fact that they're going up against the state of Texas. They have unlimited legal resources to bring to bear on this case if they wanted to. Now, this is mathematics, right? This is calculus that they have to do. But if they wanted to put 30 attorneys, junior attorneys, senior attorneys, they could put a bunch of paralegals. They could put
Let me read it off so you can understand. I got the document pulled up right here, right? Let me read off what she's actually talking about. On the very bottom of this page, I could just screen share to y'all right now and show you. I could do that too. But look, it says the state of Texas is represented. You know, they have the whole state of Texas against you, period. They have limited resources, but only 2 people are named as in representation of the state of Texas, Amy S. Murphy and Greg A. Willis. All right. But look at Karmelo's criminal appellate now. His side now has Sean Daradia, Russell Wilson II, Gary Bledsoe, Brooke Clues, Justin Moore, Michael Logan Ware, and Karmelo Anthony Sincere. His name is there as well. But you got like 6 people there for him now. They done assembled a little Avengers for him and a pro bono. So I think he's looking the best he's been looking in a while. That's just point blank, period. Let's get back to that.
Many resources on this case as they want to, but now this guy has a he's got a powerhouse team. All right, so let's look at this. This is the complete appellate record, and let's go back. This one is in reverse order.
Hold up, she about to reverse the order, bruh. When we see the huddle cam footage, the footage in the sky, bruh, that's each team's camera. That's the footage from the damn stadium, bruh. They got the center footage, bruh. We ain't talking about what happened on Southeast. We ain't what happened on the Northwest, bruh. We talking about the center footage, bruh. That's the main thing. Why don't them videos start from the beginning of the damn day then? Answer me that question, since your name is the evil genius. Why didn't they start that from the beginning? Why didn't they start from damn near when the situation happened? Why not, bruh? We want to see everything that happened that day, bruh. We want to see when it was dry before it started raining, bruh. Come on, man. Don't do this with me, man. Oh, word? I'm going to check it out. Mont. Salute to my bro. Everybody hates Mont, man. Salute to my bro, man. Y'all go check my bro out too, man. Y'all subscribe to my bro, man. Salute to my bro, man. All right, I'm going to check it out. Oh, shit. Oh, that's a part of the next thing? Oh, sorry. That's a part of the other thing, y'all. Unless you a shooter, chair. But I'm going to go and check that out, man. I'm most definitely going to check that out, bro. Salute to you, bro.
Can we change the date? Oh, let's see if we can reverse this. Yeah, we reversed it. Okay, so now up here is the top. So on the 9th, this is the judgment signed by the trial court, right? So this is the last thing that the judge does before turning the person over to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. All right. Additional copies of documents received after the initial filing. These are out of order. It should first say notice of appeal filed in the trial court. So whoever filed this, whether it was Mike Howard, it was pretty much filed within 1 day, which is great. It's a simple document, right? It's just kind of notifying the court of the court number, etc. And then here is a letter issued by the court. If I click this, let me see what happens. Do y'all see that? Okay.
I'm going to show y'all that too as well.
So what this is that you're looking at here, this is from the appellate court asking the court reporter in the trial court for all of the documents, everything related to this trial that the court reporter has. And it says, it looks like Thames is the electronic system, right? So the court is asking, right? The court requests the court reporter to complete and file this form within 7 days. Basically, what the appellate court is telling the trial court, the stenographer or the court reporter, whatever you have, get it processed and uploaded to Thames, our electronic system, within 7 days. And then if you go down a little bit, this is what the court reporter would fill out. Was the proceeding recorded by a court reporter? Yes or no? They'd click yes. Are you the only court reporter? Now, you may have seen in my other videos, I have said that sometimes, occasionally, especially in high ticket cases, you will see the defense provide their own court reporter.
Let me show you what they're talking about, all right? The first document, so you can see it clear, okay? You can see it clear. I just have the screenshot so I can bring it up and show you, all right? It shows the different things, boom. It shows you the team that's on the bottom. Let me move this banner. Let me move this banner real quick so you can see it even clearer. Okay, cool. You see the team that's down there, all right? These are the documents that I pulled, all right? Cool. I try to screen share to you, but I have so many windows open. It's a damn shame, man, okay? Like a floozy outside with the windows open, looking out like this. Who coming? Mad windows is open, homie. Mad windows. Okay, I'm seeing who coming to trick. Pause. But look, right? So look, so we got that, and then we got this document is what she's reading now. Okay, it says the court requests the court reporter to complete the file in Thames, or it could be Thames, either way, right? On Thames, and this is the digital program that she has to upload all of the files. Remember, I've been in contact with the court reporter, okay, Miss Duggar, all right? And I have to wait, like everybody has to wait for the transcripts, because I was trying to see about getting the transcripts. And she said we have to wait for the appellate process first. And then after that, they're going to be available, but then they also going to be available for purchase. I don't know if she's trying to get her pocket right. I ain't mad, bro. I don't buy Jordans. I'm buying that paperwork. I don't get help. Y'all can super chat and cash app if y'all want to contribute to that work, homie. You know what I mean? Because you're contributing to a jerk online, probably. But anyway, right? So it goes to show you. So these are the part that she has to fill out. Yes, no. And these are the things that the court reporter has to fill out. And you have 7 days. And I've been hit you, Miss Duggar. What happened? I got to be on your back calling you 50 million times, 11 times. What's going on? Don't let me get on your bumper, Miss Duggar. I've been hit you for this work. I don't want to call you like your ex, Miss Duggar. Don't let me get on my, don't let me get on my Stalkeisha vibes. Come on, bro. Send Oota the paperwork. Let me send y'all a little cash. I want my money. I want it now. Let me send you your little cash and let me get up on my business, man. We ain't got time for this. I need to read these transcripts. We arguing about who arrived first, Karmelo or Austin. What type of things is that we arguing about, bro? We supposed to know this as facts, bro. It's discrepancies in this. It's so much misinformation going on. We don't understand. Witnesses probably switched up stories from initial statements to testimonies. We don't know what's going on. So we should have the transcript so we can read it all, break it all down. Hopefully we can get the initial statements, all of those things, and then we can start to do comparisons and comparative work. So we need that transcript immediately. Okay, cool.
And the reason for that is to catch discrepancies, because as hard as these ladies work, and sometimes they're men, they're often ladies, as hard as these stenographers work, errors do happen. And there have been cases where the mistake was actually material. The mistake was actually a material matter, meaning a word got left out, or a no or a not got left out, or a before and an after got switched, and it changes the meaning of the testimony. It changes the meaning of the facts, okay? And then it says, has the appellant requested... Okay, so question number 3, the appellate court is asking the court reporter whether or not the defendant has asked, well, let me not say the defendant, whether or not the appellant has asked, right? The appellant is the person who's bringing forth the appeal. Usually the defendant, there may be a case where it's the prosecution, okay? they're wanting to know, has the appellant also requested these records, or has the court itself requested these records? And then they want to know who is paying for them, and that's it. Okay, now when it says requesting permission to file physical copies, what the appellate court was asking was for them to upload these files to the electronic system. And it says here, if you need to file physical copies, explain what you've already tried and why it can't work. Okay, so this is a simple document. And now we're back to the main thing. Okay, so the docketing statement due. The docketing statement. The docketing statement is an important document that starts the appellate process, and it basically gives to the appellate court all of the information that it needs to start its file up. Now, I think these things would have been out of order because it doesn't matter. They all happened on the same day. This is one day after the verdict. These things may not actually be in order. I think they should have been in a slightly different order, but it doesn't matter, right? The first thing would have been the filing of the notice of appeal in the trial court, and then in the appellate court, and then the docketing statement, and then the letter issue, but it doesn't really matter. All right, so this is just a note. This is just a note from the Court of Appeals to the appellant, to Karmelo Anthony. Noting that the docketing statement has not been filed, that they have notice of the appeal, but they don't have the docketing statement, which we're about to get to in a minute. Sorry, this is the letter. I have to remember to share it. This is the letter from the Court of Appeals, noting that while they have received the notice, the notice of appeals, they have not received the docketing statement, and we're going to get to that. Okay, so then the next thing we see is that the notice of appeal is filed in, again, this would have happened first, is filed in the appeals court. It's already been filed in the trial court, and now it's being filed in the appeals court. Let's see what that document, this is a standard, this is kind of a printout of a record. Oops. Hold on. Okay. Again, this is from the Court of Appeals. This is now just saying that the appellate court has filed it. Basically, all you see here is you see a bunch of different copies of this. The only difference will be the name of the person under the line, right? Like here is Michael Gould, who is the Collin County District Clerk, but this is just repeating itself. Janet L. Duggar, she's the court reporter. She is the one who would have been the—
Told you. That's the person I was in contact with. So it would have been on go. On go. I even reached out to Carmelo's defense team with the new people, Gary Bledsoe, Brooke Clues, and Russell Wilson II. One of them contacted me back. I ain't gonna tell you who. Don't worry about it, bro. Oota on go. Just like when I was in them streets. Changed my life. Believe in God and Jesus today. Trust me. He can help you too.
Court reporter in the trial court. And then this one here, this is the Amy S. Murphy. She's in the DA's office. She's the chief of the appellate division. So that's all that this is really showing us. But let's look at the last thing. All right. So the last thing that's really interesting is this document here, and it has a lot of information on it. So I'm going to walk you through this document.
Let me show you what's going on.
This is the docketing statement. This is filed immediately after the notice of appeal is filed with the trial court, and then the notice of appeal is filed with the appellate court, and then this comes next. Okay, and this is just a bunch of information for basically getting the appeal started. Okay, so when this is submitted, it's a lot of information. It's a standard form. When this is submitted, the court clerk in the appellate court is just going to enter this information into the system. They probably have it so that it is scannable. Now I'm going to show you what you can learn from this. And it's just a lot of, it's really like a form, right, that they just fill out. But there's some stuff that you can gain here. Is the appellant, Karmelo, is he incarcerated? The answer is yes. Now, there's a strong probability that the very next thing that this defense team will do, if this appeal is accepted, what they will do is they will make a request to have him released pending the outcome of the appeal. And in that case, they would send Karmelo home with, or to wherever, with, you know, an ankle monitor on or something like that, right? So look for that to come next. They're going to request for him to be released pending the outcome of this return. But right now, as of the filing, yes, he is incarcerated. The appellee is the state of Texas, right? So the appellant is the one filing it, the defendant, and the appellee is the one being filed upon. That's the no. Okay. All right. So there's something else, and I'm not sure why this is formatted like this. I think this vertical divider line, it could probably be moved over. I don't know why they wouldn't.
These are all the pages of the actual file. So it's like 5 pages in this one document of the docket statement. So I'm just going to try to bring the docket statements as she's scrolling through so you can see it clear, because even on her little video, you're not going to be able to see it clearly. So that's why I went into the files, did my homework. Oota's an independent journalist for a reason, even though you think I'm just reacting on YouTube and doing comedy. This is true, though. Okay, cool. You see me working. So let's get back to it.
And give equal weight to all 4 attorneys. But anyway, okay, so here is a list of the attorneys for the appellant, and then you'll see right here, lead attorney is checked for this guy, Russell Wilson. Now, there's something interesting that you can see here. You can see kind of the age of these attorneys, right? So Russell Wilson is the older guy with the salt and pepper afro. And his bar number starts with 00. That means this is an old school attorney, right? He's been barred since the mid 90s. And you can tell because his prefix is 00. And then within that, so the way Texas has done its bar.
Everybody can see that, right? Because on hers, you're not going to be able to see it. But we see the bar number, it's lead attorney. You see his name. Then right under that, the bar number starts with 00. That means he old school. He old school. I'll be back. Them old schools. Okay. That's when he got his bar. Okay. Arnold was still running around doing his thing. Rocky was running up the steps when he got his thing popping. You heard? Know it. Learn it.
Our numbers, and you can see how old and experienced these attorneys are or are not. We should look up and see what Mike Howard's bar number is. But anyway, the 00 was a prefix that was used many, many years ago. And in that numbering system, he was the almost 800,000th attorney licensed by the state of Texas. And then this other guy, he's been around the block for a while too, because maybe not as long as this one, but his number starts with 20. And then these young attorneys, they all start with, I don't know what this is. The 24, right? So this is when the numbering system has reset. So you can look at these numbers and tell how long these attorneys have been in here. But this 00, they don't even use the 00 anymore. So this guy's been around the block a few times. And then these guys are.
Next person is Gary Bledsoe. This is a new person that stepped in. He is the NAACP president, right? And he's one of the lead attorneys in this case as well. We got Russell Wilson II, who's an appellate attorney, because you need appellate attorneys. Other lawyers that litigate different cases, you need an appellate attorney, okay? You need that. They know how to deal with that whole appellate court, that whole process. Then he got Brooke Clues, as well as the other names that I just read off to you on the other document on this live as well. He got about 5 people, okay? Cool. Let's get to this.
Are younger, okay? That, just so you know. So anyway, so where are these attorneys from? Dallas, Fort Worth, Frisco, Austin, Dallas, and Dallas. Okay, So I want you to look here. Okay, so all appellate, remember I told you that there was an attorney appointed for the appeal. The guy's name was, I can't remember what I said it was. It started with a D. This woman appears to have been appointed before him. So he may have had 2 court-appointed public defenders before these come in to take over the case, right? Because they say that all of these attorneys are substituting in for the prior court-appointed counsel. All right. And her name is Laura Bracamonte. Okay, now here is the appellee's attorney. This is the state's lead attorney, Amy Murphy. She's the chief of the appellate division. Now, the appeal, unless they get a new trial, it doesn't involve courtroom work. It's written on the papers. It's a lot of writing, right? Appellate attorneys are writers for the most part. They're writers and researchers. They work upstairs in offices. They never see the public. But if he's granted a new trial, they will do a new trial. And she may or may not actually try the case. She may just be the lead attorney and her office will handle it. All right. His plea was a not guilty. Trial by jury, we already knew that. This says notice of appeal filed in the trial court on June 9th. In the docket, it was recorded on June 10th, which is not uncommon. Depending, it may have been filed the night of and not recorded until the morning or something like that. Is this appeal from a pretrial order? The answer is no. Pretrial order would mean that they're appealing based on something that happened before the trial even started. Now, this is interesting here, okay? Does the appeal involve the constitutionality or validity of a statute, rule, or ordinance? The answer is no. This would be if they're challenging the actual law itself, and they put no. So that's telling you that they're not going to say that there was some portion of the law that was not right. They're basically saying by that, no, we're going to do this based on what happened in the trial room. That I was going to say that day, but those like 2 or 3 days. Now let's look at this motion for a new trial. Yes. They want to start a new trial.
Let me just make sure I got all of the documents screenshotted.
So they want to scrap.
We're following correctly. All right, cool. She said, if guilty, let me just go through these. All right. This was the last one that she was just showing, right? For the appeals and everything. All right. That was the trial record, right? Okay, the appellees. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So I need one more document. That's motion for a new trial, right? Let me see if guilty. Let me just go grab that real quick so I could put that on here for y'all too as well. Hold up. Where's that at? Is that here? Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Why am I not seeing that? Hold up. Why am I not seeing that? Hold up. Hold up. I just want to make sure we got all of the documents on screen. Where am I skipping? Am I skipping anything? Okay, I'm gonna go through the other docketing file and maybe I'll find that other paperwork as well. Let me see. If guilty, that does it. Oh, the action extending the perfect time in a perfect appeal. All right, I'll look for it right now.
The whole thing and start over again. Now, this is, I mean, a lot of people request this, but you also have to have grounds for it. So they believe that they do have grounds, right? A motion for a new trial means that we want to go back to the drawing board. Now, here's the thing about that, right? I was actually happy, and someone wrote about this in the comments today. I was happy that they gave him, that they convicted him of the highest charge, because even if they had convicted him of a lower charge, they could have given him the same amount of time. But the lower charge is actually harder to appeal. And if you do appeal, or if you do get a new trial, you run the risk of getting a second trial and getting murder one. Because he already has murder one, there's no harm in asking for a new trial. So I was glad that he did not get the manslaughter. Because again, he could have gotten the same amount of time or something seriously close to it anyway, even with the manslaughter, and had a harder time appealing it, and would have possibly gotten a higher sentence. Okay. Motion and affidavit filed. Yes. Okay. So here we go. The appellant has previously been found, and this is where I am in the middle of this page. The appellant has previously been found indigent by the trial court. Substitute counsel appears, substitute counsel, plural, appear pro bono.
Exactly where you see her highlighted. That's this over V3338, number 8 in Roman numerals. Right above that, the appellant has previously been found indigent by the trial court. That's what she's reading right there, okay? On the second page, top of the second page. That's what she's reading.
And the indigency finding is requested to be maintained for the record without cost. Okay, so if you remember in the trial record, there was a line there that said there were 2 sets of fees that he was not charged. He was not charged the fee to be arrested. Can you imagine having to pay a fee to get you have to pay them to arrest you? And also he didn't have to apply. He didn't have to pay to apply for counsel.
I think it was like a $300 fee. If I seen another fee that was sent back as well. I don't know if that was the $300 fee. I've been going through like all of the documents, the dockets. I've been going through like everything behind the scene, trying to put it all together. I'm gonna do another video on some of that for y'all, maybe later on today at like 6 or 7 o'clock.
For indigent counsel. Okay. So substitute counsel appear pro bono, and the indigency finding is requested to be maintained. There's no reason to not maintain it. God forbid something happens and they have to come off of the case. The record and the finding is already there. He can move on. Now, another thing that they could have done, I think, unless Texas prohibits this, they could get the appointed counsel fee, which is nominal, but it would certainly help offset some of the costs. Right. But this particular group of heavy hitters, that would almost be beneath them. Right. But they could apply for the fee that would be paid to an appointed counsel. But again, this is the
group of heavy hitters closer. So you can see it even closer now. Remember, she brought up somebody with a D. That's Deradia. That's the name that with the D, the name that she brought up. That's with a D. So we see Shoaib Sean Deradia, Russell Wilson II, Gary Bledsoe, Brooke Clues, Justin Moore, and Michael Logan Ware. This is the new team that's been assembled. We thought it was just 3 people, but it's looking more like 5 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 people. My bad. Shit. 6 people in the building. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He done put the Avengers plus Thanos. You know what I'm saying? He done put them people together. So this is what that team that she's talking about. Because at one point, we only heard of the 3 people, and only the 3 people have been publicized on social media. I reached out to the 3 people as well, and I actually got in contact with one of them, point blank. So most definitely looking for some new updates on this case. I will be updating y'all. Any conversations that needs to be had, I'll go about obtaining those conversations and try to bring it to y'all live, and we can get into some of that too as well. So everybody, make sure y'all just dropping a like, make sure y'all sharing, make sure y'all voting. I will change the poll maybe, but y'all just vote on what y'all think of that real quick, since that's the basis of what the video is about. I appreciate everybody. Good day to everybody. Hopefully we're all having a good day, no matter what color we are. It doesn't matter. Okay. Hope you're having a sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright. Hit you with the temptation. Sunshiny day. Hope it's that day, homie. Hope today's that day for you. But make sure you're doing the right thing by Oota, liking, subscribing, sharing, and hitting that poll. You heard? Powerful team.
Okay. The trial court clerk was a district court. We know that was Judge Roach from the 296th district. And was the clerk's record requested? Yes. So remember the document that we just looked at, the one that the clerk has to fill out. Oh no, that was the court reporter. Oh. Okay, so the clerk. Well, this actually makes more sense. The clerk's record is the one that we were looking at. That where I was saying that those things look like.
This is what she's saying that the clerk has to fill out. This document is what the appellate court sent to the court reporter to send up all their documents to upload, not send up, upload all their documents to the electronic digital software, which is called Teams, and they have 7 days to do this. Okay, the court reporter Miss Duggar, has several days to do this. Okay, and I've spoken to you more than several days ago, Miss Duggar. You could ring my bell, call me. What happened?
They were updated after the fact. When the clerk got this request, they may have gone back and just filled it out before turning it over, right? And that's why we see those repeated entries that appear to say the same thing. When the record was requested, they went back, they cleaned it up, polished it up a little bit before turning it over. Okay. And he did not have to pay because he was indigent. All right. And now this is the one for the court reporter, the stenographer, right? Was there a reporter's record? Yes. Was it requested? Yes. Now remember the document that we just looked at that is to be filled out by the stenographer. One of the questions was, has the appellant requested the record? In this case, the court reporter would answer, yes, they have. And then when the next section, remember it said who paid for it? The court reporter and the party are both saying indigent, meaning that he would not pay it, meaning the state would absorb the cost of that. Okay, so, and here's Janet Duggar. We already saw her. Anything related, any other related matters? There are none known. Okay, in signature, electronic signature by the attorney. Okay, so this is what we have in the document. So what do we get out of this document? We get that they have requested a motion for a new trial, that they still want him to be treated as indigent, even though they're stepping in pro bono. This powerful team of 6 attorneys and their firms, right? The next thing, so that's what's on here. That's what we can garner from here. The next thing we're going to see, if this is accepted, we're going to see the actual appeal be filed. And then if the court agrees to hear the appeal or to work on the appeal, we're going to see a request that Karmelo be released pending the outcome of this appeal. So all right. Okay, so that is
why we got to listen to attorneys. I got a couple of conversations coming up with a few attorneys, defensive. I'm trying to get prosecutions to come and sit down and speak with me about some stuff and think about what prosecution did, what defense did. We got to speak with legal minds. Everybody can have their own opinion on this thing. We're all open to have our own opinion, but opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one, bro. Let's just keep it real with each other. Sorry, I know it's early in the morning, but I got to tell you straight. Oota's a straight shooter. Bang. So just know it. Okay. That's why we need legal minds on it. Legal minds help us to step our legal minds up so that now we get to argue in the right cases now. Now we get to argue the right way now. You know what I'm saying? Whether be it online, be it in real life, be it in person, be it with your peers, whatever the case may be. We're not just going off emotion. We're not just going off what we think or what we feel. We got to listen to the legal minds and take from them and add to our minds and step our legal minds up. This is what this thing is about. It's going to strengthen any one of our arguments, whether you on the side or you not on the side. It's going to strengthen all of our arguments. Point blank, period. It's not no opinion-based thing here. That's just a fact I just told you. And I'm not into echo chambers. Everybody can have their own opinion. Hopefully we just be respectful with it. You with it, you not, or whatever. I'm not here to sway nobody. What I look like? Jesus? Like, oh boy. Want to see my feet? I got on socks, bro. I don't got on sandals, bro. On Jesus sandals. I'm not Jesus, bro. So I'm not here to change your mind, bro. Not here. We just here to get to the facts of what we deem the facts to be, and everybody can have their own opinion on whatever we deem the facts to be. Simple. Okay? Salute to y'all.
This is the court docket. Now you know everything that has happened. You know what it means. If there's anything that wasn't clear, anything we need to go back and look at, let me know. But I want you guys to see the stuff for yourselves, decide for yourselves. I told you the big things I noticed, the big error that Mike Howard did, if he really did file those subpoenas within 4 working days of the trial starting. That of everything that we've seen, that blows my mind. I told you guys they would put in a request for a new trial. Oh, they also asked the judge to recuse himself. Hold on. Let me get back to, where was that? Let me get back to that. In here, they are asking the judge to recuse.
Counsel Gray, how you forgot about that? That's the most important thing. Let me find out you working with Mike Howard and you ain't on your job, Counsel Gray. What happened with you? Don't let me get the side out of you like my grandmother when I came inside 12 o'clock at night and she was looking if I was smoking trees. Don't let me get the side eye of you, sister. Because she's doing a good job, Counsel Gray. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Counsel Gray. COUNSEL Gray, GREY. Dope. And the public opinion, the public, you know what I mean? Her as well. You know what I mean? Make sure. Because salute to both of these sisters. They're both doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? Most likely they're both different races. You can hear it in the tones. You know what I mean? The other one said, send them through there. You know, she ain't talking like that. So this ain't a race-based thing, bruh. We're not on that. Good people have no color upon them. Okay? A good person, doesn't matter. And people that's doing good work. That's what we on, bro. We're not here for the racisms, bro. If you have your own racism, cool, bro. I'm not here to show my racism because of something. Jeff Metcalf showed a lot of his, but I still feel bad for his son being unalive, bro. And I still say RIP to Austin Metcalf, bro. Regardless of the fact, bro. I have children, bro. They were kids when this happened, bro. I'd be a devil if I said it's okay and he got what he wanted to get and he supposed to be up out of here. No, bro. It was kids, bro. He didn't know putting his hands on Karmelo, whether grabbing him, choking him, hitting him in the eye, whatever the hell he thought he wasn't going to do. He didn't know that he wouldn't be here no more based on that action. And Karmelo didn't understand that all of the things that was happening, even though we was trying to tell him, don't do this. Don't do this. We even hear on the 911 call, they say Austin made a move. So he thought he was Superman, obviously. But Karmelo didn't think he'd get 35 years. He'd probably try to plead that out and figure out something different if that was the case, right? He'd probably try to testify for his own self if that's the case too, right? He didn't know, man. They were both young kids, bro. Point blank, period. Just because somebody's racist, that don't mean I got to be racist, bro. Period, bro. That's his own sin for his own self, bro. He's supposed to be a Christian, bro. I'm not even a Christian, bro. See what I'm saying? So think about that, math. Okay? We can have humanity, bro. We can have humanity. And I feel bad for both families, regardless of the fact, bro. They sent their children to school that day, like how we all send our children to school, bro. Not knowing that something cataclysmic like that would happen, bro. So think about that, bro.
Use himself. Let me see if I can find that for you guys. Did I talk about that? Oh boy, let me see. Hold on.
Get on your job, woman. Yo, we just had 3,500.
Let me share this.
That's nasty work, bro.
I skipped right over it. Sorry, you guys. If you see, all right, let's go here to related matters. Okay. This here says, list any pending or past related appeals before this or any other Texas appellate court. List them by court, by docket, and by style. The attorneys here are saying that we don't know of any other related matters pending in the appellate court. However, post-conviction motion for new trial and motion to recuse are pending in the trial court. Now, if you watched my video, what was that video called? Something about is Karmelo Anthony's attorney playing chess, not checkers? I talked about this, okay? I talked about how when you make a motion for a new trial, that motion goes directly to the judge who just heard the case. So the chances of that judge saying, hey, you know, you're right, I did blow it. Let me give you a new trial. They are not going to do that. So what they are...
Who the hell gonna do that? Look, car wash. You see the thing outside the car wash? My hands is up in the air. Who the hell gonna do that? Recuse, sir. Recuse. Thank you.
Doing here is they asked him for a motion for a new trial and a motion to recuse. Now, what they're basically saying is that we don't want you involved in this case anymore. So someone else should decide on this motion for a new trial instead of you reviewing yourself. And we definitely don't want you to be the one who rehears the case. If we do get this motion for a new trial, we don't want you to be the one hearing it. So they're saying that while we don't know of anything, while we don't know of any matters in the appellate court, just so you know, there's also a motion for a new trial and a motion to recuse in the trial court. So if they get the new trial, they will start from scratch. And remember, in that video, right, the Chess or Checkers video, I told you that if they get the new trial, because Karmelo did not testify in the original trial,
listen to this.
The prosecution will not have his testimony to dissect word by word, line by line. They will be at a disadvantage in the new case if Karmelo does take the witness stand. So this is where Mike Howard may have been playing chess. He may have
been. We all say the defense was shoddy, faulty. It's like Shaq from the free throw line. It was. But could that be a play? Could that been one of the plays? Sacrifice it now to come back like Curry for 3 later. Is that what Mike Howard was trying to do? We don't know, bro. But we will find that out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, homie. Facts. Let's get back to it.
Decided, I'm not going to put Karmelo on the stand and have him tell his whole story so they can break it apart and look for any holes and find contradictory evidence, etc. If he knew that they didn't stand a chance based on whatever that back and forth was at lunchtime on the last day, when he came out of that lunch break and rested, and for basically how the trial was going, maybe the fact that some of his subpoenas were not approved, right? He may, and I don't know, he may have decided very early on or even before the trial, certainly when he didn't get the jury that he thought was fair, he may have decided to not put Karmelo on the stand. If they get this new trial, I can almost guarantee you that Karmelo will take the stand and he will be prepped and he will be right. Also, those last minute subpoenas that he put in, if he decided before the trial that he wasn't going to actually try the trial because he didn't think he had the right judge, the right prosecutor, the right jurisdiction, he may have just thrown those subpoenas in at the last minute to preserve them. So we don't know. Mike Howard, this guy might be 2 steps ahead. But if they get this new trial, they start from scratch. But they will not have the benefit of having heard Karmelo. The defense will have the benefit of having heard all those students. So this could go either way, you guys. This to me is the hottest question. If they get this new trial, start from scratch, and then put Karmelo on the stand, the prosecutor will be scrambling. They will be scrambling to try to attack his thing. And this team is going to prepare Karmelo. Anyway, so I just wanted to pull this back to your attention. Is this the same 83565? Let me see. Is this the main court docket number? Yeah, it is. Okay. Oh, wait. 83565. 835. Okay. So it's in the same docket. Okay. So this is where all the excitement is going to happen. If they get a new trial, can you imagine? This is going to be awesome. All right. So anyway, let me get to, and the fact that they're asking the judge to recuse, that's not uncommon in a motion for a new trial, unless you think that the judge is actually helpful. If you think the judge is helpful and the jury just, got it wrong, then you might not want the judge to recuse. You might want, because you may think the judge is going to agree with you, like that jury came out of left field. But here's the thing. If the judge really believed that the jury came out of left field, the judge could overrule the verdict. Right? The minute that the verdict is read by the jury, the judge could have overruled it. And right, that doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. The judge will say, you guys don't know what you're talking about. You couldn't possibly have been looking at the evidence that was presented in this court and come to that conclusion. And then the judge will overrule it. One of the catch-all reason for, actually, I can show you this. I'm going to show you the grounds for a new trial, but let me just come here and look at the Let me come in here and look at. Bear with me, you guys. I'm trying. There are so many comments in here. Okay, I can't look.
Doing great work, bro. She's doing great work. Sound very unbiased. You know what I'm saying? Just talking about the case. Just doing her thing, man. Salute to her, man. White woman, homie. Don't matter what color. You're not dumb. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid, bro. Shout out to her for doing some good work on this, man, and helping us to break down the legal process and everything that's happening behind the scenes, especially with the Fifth Court of Appeals and all these types of things. We need to get legally savvy. We need to all start to update our minds, just like Neo in the Matrix. Helicopter. Grrr. Oh, yeah, we flying. I think it was Trinity that did it, right? But you know what I mean.
All these. All right, you guys, thanks for turning out. I appreciate it. I'm going to go into now. Let me show you the Texas the Texas rules for a. Hold on. Let me show you the Texas rules for granting a new trial. All right. Okay, so this is the Texas rules, and this is just a PDF. Can I zoom in any? Let me zoom in just a little bit. All right, new trials in criminal cases. So we want to go to grounds. This is the grounds for a new trial. And I'm going to show you. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. Okay. All right. The defendant must be granted a new trial or a new trial on punishment, right? Remember, I told you that the case in chief is its own little trial, and the result of that is the verdict. And then the sentencing phase is the second part, which is called the trial on punishment, right? So they're both technically, they're mini trials, right? The case in chief is when he did it, he didn't do it. And then the sentencing part, it resembles its own little trial because it has opening statements, closing statements, evidence, exhibits, arguments, and then a trier of fact. The jury in this case, often the judge, will actually attach a punishment to it, right? Okay, so a defendant must be granted a new trial or a new trial on punishment for any of the following reasons. We don't know which one they requested. I'm assuming it was a full new trial. Okay, because they don't want to, if they only file for a new trial on punishment, that means they're agreeing with the underlying trial. They're agreeing with the underlying verdict. They don't like the sentence. They're trying to attack the whole thing. All right. So, a new trial must be granted when the defendant has been unlawfully tried in absentia or has been denied counsel. That does not apply here unless denied counsel can be read to mean denied adequate counsel, right? This is the ineffective assistance of counsel. Why does this thing keep popping up? Oh my God. Okay. Or when the court has misdirected the jury about the law or committed some other material error. This is legal error, right? This is what we call legal error. I don't know. They may make this out, right? We'd have to see the transcript. We'd have to see all of the objections, et cetera, to know which one. And they can come in under any of these or multiple of these. And
what objections? People that I knew that was in the court put eyes on it, eyeballed it. Don't be reckless eyeballing me, boy. The people that don't reckless eyeball that court case. They said they only heard about 2-3 objections in the whole damn thing. I said, what's that about? Defense wasn't even objecting. Crazy. And you know you got to object and do all those things on the record in front of the judge, and this is what helps you to get mistrials and appeals. You know that, right? But you know what the prosecution was doing? Objected from day one, from jury selection. Objection, objection, strike that, strike this. Prosecution wasn't playing. They came out with the Gensus and the ninja stars throwing from the beginning. Was that a play from Mike Howard? I don't know. Was he railroaded by his own defense? We will find that out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, homie. We gonna find it out, though. Facts. Word to Goku. We gonna find it.
This is when the verdict has been decided by lot or any manner other than a fair expression of the jurors' opinions, right? So that's like if the jury went back there and they said, listen, we all want to get out to the football game. It's getting hot in here. The air conditioning is out. Let's just pull straws. Let's just do heads or tails. Heads, he's guilty, right? You never hear of this anymore, but there have been some cases where random things like this have happened, arm wrestling matches and all kinds of stuff, right? Because when they get tired, they're like, instead of being deadlocked, let's just get this resolved. And then they arm wrestle or something like that. When a juror has been bribed to convict or has been guilty of any other corrupt conduct. Now, if the Metcalfs weighed in on the jury, a lot of people think that they intimidated the students. I don't know. We'll see that something like this would come out. God forbid there were any payments, or a bribe could take a lot of forms. It doesn't have to be cash money. It could be, we'll let you onto the team next year. It could be, you'll be a starter next season, right? It could be money, or it could, any other corrupt conduct. That's a pretty broad. Money
or incentives. Because it could be a reason why. Maybe some kids was threatened. Who knows what's going on? They're young people, Why did a lot of statements change from initial statements to differ from the testimony? Why? People's acting like Hunter wasn't even there and all that.
That's a pretty broad statement, right? Okay. When a material defense witness has been kept from court by force, threats, or fraud, or when evidence tending to establish the defendant's innocence has been intentionally destroyed or withheld, thus preventing its production at trial. So this is getting into a Brady violation. I am doing I'm doing a video on this probably Tuesday about whether or not the prosecutor had any Brady violations. A lot of people think the prosecution did not turn over all of the footage. So we're going to talk about that.
That's my last video. Did the prosecutors hide? Check my last live. Did the prosecutors hide evidence in Karmelo's trial? Did the defense ask for it? It's both. It's a mixture of both. But we went into a breakdown of that. We also brought Counsel Gray in on that. And Counsel Gray, like Rap Snack said in the chat, I love her breakdowns. But check out my last live on it. That's what that was all about. Did the prosecution hide evidence in Karmelo's trial, man? You already know Brady materials. That's how come we see a lot of cases get overturned, because, they can say, you know what? They ain't answer for that. It's all right. Leave that though. By the time they retry the case or the appeals happen, is years down the line. I might not be the prosecutor no more. I might not be the lead in this and the lead in that. They done retired, then sailing, shipping Mai Tais in Malibu, bro. By the time it's all said and done, and you done spent half your life in jail, and then you got appeal. Now you come home like this on the TV. You getting awarded a judgment because you was wrongfully arrested, and they ain't bring up some witness testimony that said your ass wasn't even the one that did it. He had cornrows, and what even you when you had a damn baldy, bald head. But they ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna let you know about that, bro. So we got to get into that.
Basically, a Brady violation says that if the prosecution has any evidence or comes to have any evidence at whatever point they come to have evidence that is exculpatory to the defense, meaning it tends to show innocence or exonerates the defense, they have to turn it over whether or not they're asked. And if they have anything that impeaches one of their own witnesses, one of the state's own witnesses, they also have to turn that over without being asked. At any point, in any time.
You think they want to turn that over? No. So just know that.
in the future that they come to know of it, they have to turn it over to the defense. Okay. But let me say this. This rule, which touches on Brady, says intentionally, that it was intentionally destroyed or withheld. The U.S. Supreme Court Brady rule says intentionally or accidentally destroyed or withheld. So this is narrower than the U.S. Supreme Court, which means that the U.S. Supreme Court would trump it. Because this says that the act of holding it back or destroying it has to be intentional. The Supreme Court said in U.S. v. Brady or Maryland v. Brady that the U.S. Supreme Court finally decided in U.S. v. Brady intentionally or accidentally. That's a big difference there. Okay. Or, right, the defendant must be granted a new trial when, after retiring to deliberate, the jury has received other evidence. They've talked to someone else about the case, or when a juror became so intoxicated that his or her vote was probably influenced as a result. Now, I know these sound crazy, right? Like a drunk juror, fumbling around, but these things really happen. These rules come from real cases and they just get codified, right? It's been a long week. We've listened to a lot of testimony. Whew, let's pop a bottle of whatever this is. Let me pop one of these pills just to relax so I can talk about this, right? These things have actually happened. Okay. So received other evidence means that somehow they got a hold of some evidence that was not entered, or they did not hear it in the time of the proceeding. They heard it on the news. A buddy of theirs slipped a note, into their mailbox. Anything like that, right? The prosecution slipped them an envelope that was not admitted. Whatever it is. Okay. The defendant must receive a new trial when the jury has engaged in such misconduct that the defendant did not receive a fair or impartial trial. This is different from saying that the prosecutor or the judge did something. This is saying that the jury did something. The jury did something that was so wrong that it literally hampered the defendant's due process rights. And then the last one. And this is the one you can get a lot of stuff in under this one. This is sort of the catch-all. When the verdict is contrary to the law and the evidence, right? So this, you can capture a lot of stuff in here. This is when this verdict is so far removed from either what the law says or what the evidence says, then this person gets a new trial. Okay, so. All right. Okay, so let me get to the chat. Oh my gosh, there's so many messages in here. All right, you guys, if you want me to read your question first or not to forget to mention it, then wanting to know if I need to go back. As a HO homeowner. All right, I see you, Fatina. Oh boy. Book of business, and they can give you the time. All right. Let's see.
Listen, y'all. Shout out to Counsel Gray, bro. Shout out to Counsel Gray. Doing a great job. Make sure y'all subscribing to my sister. The public opinion court, her as well. You know what I mean? Some people saying, you was in on the fix. I don't know what's going on with that. Shout out Queen Brielle. Shout out Serena. Shout out all my sisters in the chat, man. Rochelle, BJ, what's going on? So your thumbnail, Thelma, public opinion. Court still allowed to practice law after that Fed fraud case. That's nasty work. But Oota was a shooter, and I changed my life. So let me change. Jesus' sandals has helped me. And maybe Jesus' feet help Thelma too. So I don't know, bruh. I ain't here to judge. Who I look like, Jeff Metcalf? I don't look like I ain't judging nobody. I don't know. Because Oota's slate ain't so damn clean. But my God and my Jesus. Jesus, take my hand in front of these people. Tell these people I changed my life. He's changed his life. Tell these people I ain't trying to go back to my old wicked ways. He's not trying to go back to his old wicked ways. Tell these people stop bothering me on YouTube for I ain't. Stop bothering for I ain't. You know what I mean? Just check. Leave it be, y'all. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I seen her title, which came up. I don't know too much about the public opinion court. I don't know too much about her. I did see her on Freezy's channel. I did know that she was at the court because I was speaking with Neek during the thing, and Neek said that she knew of her or something like that. So I think she was there. So I really don't know that much about her, you know what I mean? But I'm not here to just coming in judging people and stuff like that. If you're reporting some stuff and you're trying to do it the right way and stuff like that, that I can see, that's what I try to look at, you know what I mean? If everything come out in the wash or the rinse, that's something else for me, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, you know what I mean? I got a speckled past myself, you know what I'm saying? I come from the hood, okay? They talking to you like this. That mean run, get on happy feet. That's where I come from. So everybody's able to change their life. Hopefully people make mistakes, they change their lives and get back on a good foot. And hopefully, for me, I'm believing in God and Jesus. I don't know if you don't believe in God or Jesus, you know what I mean? So salute to whatever you believe in. But for me, I believe in God and Jesus. And you know what I mean? If we're able to change our lives, man, that's a great thing. You know what I mean? And turn away from our ways and things that we did that are wrong. And I think that no one's perfect. You know what I mean? That's just me. So I'm not here to judge you. Same way I could judge you. I judge you, be looking at you like my grandmother when I came in at 12. Yo, what happened to you in my chat? But your ass was swiping, that's it. But you was doing that shit too. So you in my chat. Well, I'm supposed to look at you with the side eye? Come on, bro. Hopefully you changing your life too, brothers and sisters. Hopefully we, you know what I mean? We getting back on the right foot. People make mistakes. We're all human. None of us are perfect. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. So I get it. I'm not condoning no uckery. But I'm just saying, none of us are perfect, and I understand that. You know what I mean? I most definitely understand that. And a lot of people that I know didn't get a chance to change their lives, man. They're dead. They died. I have a lot of friends that died. You know what I'm saying? One year I had 10 friends that died. All gunshot victims, bro. A lot of my friends didn't die from natural causes, all young ages, which is real. A lot of them are in jail doing 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 70 years in jail. Look where God has placed me. I'm covering trials. Independent journalists. I'm moving around. Think about how life spins. They didn't get a chance to change their lives. Sometimes I have survivor's remorse to say, damn, why was I able to change mine? Right? Think about it, bro. Look at Austin. Look at Karmelo. They didn't get a chance to change. Austin's done. R.I.P. to him. Karmelo is 35 years in prison, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't want more to do nothing, bro. If you listen to what I'm saying to you, you'll listen. What the hell? I don't want nobody to do nothing. I have friends that are dead. I have 20 friends that are not here right now. Why would I want more people to die? Okay? So understand that. Listen to my words. Okay? And not my action when I'm saying spend that shit. Not my actions when I'm saying spend that shit. Listen to my words, bro. Maybe you get a sense of who I am as an individual and as a real person. Okay? Because some of y'all just see me being an entertainer, being a comedian, doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? But you don't understand the methods of the man. You don't understand the things that come from behind that a person comes from and goes through. But one thing about me is I treat people fairly. I defend people regardless of color. It doesn't matter. See what I'm saying? I stand up, risk my own life, risk my own freedom for people, even here online and in the real world. And I'm not going to see people just bullying people, taking advantage of people without me coming up and saying something for you, even if you're not confident enough to speak for yourself. And many people would testify to that about me. And that's a fact. And will I get credit for it? Who cares? We don't do everything for credit. We do it because it's the right thing to do. Okay? Salute to that. Phil, no, he know me for years. I had to get up with some people bumping for Phil. I'm like, yo, Phil, don't let that people, yo, Phil. That's the first time he hit my channel. Phil White. I'm black. Don't get it twisted. But one dude was talking crazy on my channel. I said, yo, Phil, if you don't come up here and cook him, I told Phil hit the channel. That's the first time Phil hit my damn panel. Straight up. This is years ago. Phil hit the panel, had to cook up on him. Yeah. Act like Phil ain't got no jokes, nigga. Shut up. Cooked up on his dumb ass. No matter. He was black. Phil was white. I said, yo, Phil, don't let him talk to you like that, Phil. Hit the panel, Phil. That was Phil's first time hitting my channel. Yeah. On the panel. And got up on there and had to cook him. That's how we on it, bro. There's no color on good people, bro. Know that. Oota's never been a racist. Yeah, support Oota, man. Smash that like button and share and super chat just like my guy Phil. But you know, I don't be on there all day talking. Oh, loosen up your purse strings, man. Throw something for the congregations. I don't be on that. But y'all need to support the real ones that's actually real out here. You know what I'm saying? And people that actually help you. You know what I mean? Ask anybody, even from when I covered the Diddy trial. You know how many people I supported out there, bro? You know how many people I had to get up on their bumpers for, bro? Real talk. Yo, who you talk to? Them? Don't stop playing me. Cassie Moms, Regina Ventura. Stop playing me. What? Don't talk to her like that. You dumb? Justin Moms, Mama Combs. Who you talking about? People in the trial, men and women. Yo, boy, who you talking to? Him? Stop playing me before we do something to you out here, bro. So we together. People don't want us to defend each other. People don't want us to help each other. They want us separate. That's a fact, man. They want us all separated. Be it race, be it vicinities, be it whatever the fuck, proximities. They just want us all separated, bro. They don't want us to defend each other. And at the end of the day, it's really not about white and black for real on our levels, right? When you get higher up in the world, yeah, maybe. But a lot of us are dealing with the same issues. We're dealing with the same thing, the same laws, same things that's affecting us, the taxes, everything, the prices, everything is affecting us. We're more in the same position than not. It's not even about race. The powerful get more powerful. And who's not, you already know, is on the way to the upper room when Jesus come. The hell? That's why we got to be out here defending each other and helping each other and not forgetting about each other. That's what it's about. Trust me when I'm telling you, I will never lie to you. I didn't come to YouTube to lie. I am who I am in real life. Trust me. I'm not scared of nobody. I'll tell you what the hell I'm tell you. People that's scared gotta lie. I ain't lying. I might lie to the judge though. Judge, I ain't did it. I ain't did that. I had to. But besides that, I ain't lying to people for what? Got time, bro. Tell your ass the truth. I don't care if your ass with me or not. Look, I ain't begging no friends. Got the cup bugging. Friend, please, give me get a friend. I ain't begging no damn friends. If you my friend, you're going to be my friend to the end, like Chucky. Child's play, homie. You're going to be my damn friend. Okay? So salute to all my people. I got to get entertainment, though. It's early in the morning. I got all this energy, right? People couldn't even understand why I was going to the trial every day court at Diddy trial. Like 5 in the morning, turned up. They're like, yo, the news people like, yo, bro, you on Ye? Is you on Kanye? Like, what you thinking? Coffee? Bro, I'm not even a coffee drinker, bro. I'm not on the Kanye. I'm not on the slopes, homie. I don't do that. Never did that in my life. I've never done that. Okay, RIP to my friend that did that and passed away. Crazy as hell. Straight up lost his life. Son, Fenty was in it. Nasty work, bro. Stay away from the D-rugs, y'all. Stay away from the D-rugs. I even stopped smoking trees. Can't believe it. Every day I was in front of that court blowing weed on the motherfucking attorneys and everybody like, Oota, you got me smelling like straight trees when I go into court, bro. What happened? I even quit smoking trees, bro. I haven't smoked trees for a few months now, bro. Since before I went to Japan, I took my trip to Japan. I was out there for like a month. I started smoking before that. God is great, bro. Okay? Slow down on the D-rugs, bro. Slow down on the D-rugs out here, man. They putting all type of stuff and stuff. We need to be talking this not only for adults, but young people listen to these streams too, man. Stay in school, do what you got to do. Try to avoid trouble. Try to sometimes walk away from a confrontation. Know what I mean? Because look at Karmelo and Austin. They went to school that day and all of this happened and transpired. You think that their parents sent them to school, regardless if you think that Metcalf is racist or not, you think they sent their kids to school to be unalive and to be one doing 35 years? No, they did not, bro. That's 2 parents. And I feel bad for both sides and both parents, bro. They both lost children, bro. Straight up. Maybe the Anthonys can see their son still, but just because you got a sentence like that doesn't mean that he's going to get out, bro. It's life and death in prison. Prison is hell on earth, bro. He's already made reports allegedly that he's being actually harassed. Karmelo Anthony, bro. People are trying to take your manhood. People are trying to take your life. People kind of prove to you and say, yo, you took a life? Do it again. Let me see. Because now you were people that actually taking lives on purpose, bro. Do you hear me? People is 6'4", 300 pounds of solid muscles. Not a game no more, bro. You got prison guards that shady as hell trying to set you up, put you in the bathroom, talking about, yeah, go take your shower, bro. Next thing you know, you see 4 burly people coming in after you, all type of stuff, bro. Yo, go in that room right there, bro. What you mean? Go in that cell, son. You mean go in that cell? That ain't my cell. Go in that cell, bro. Before I put your ass in the hole, you be in the hole for 80 weeks. What you mean? You gonna put me in solitary for 80 weeks? Get in that cell. You go in the cell, next thing you know, 5 guys come run up in the cell, come violate you, come hurt you, come try to unalive you, come poke you. Anything is possible, man. Anything is possible. Some people got 1 year in jail and they doing 25 years in prison. I'm going to keep saying this because young people need to watch and listen to the real stories. I have one friend that unalived somebody in my neighborhood, bro. One of my homeboys, man. He went up north in the mountains with the lifers and the real wolves, man. The real lions, Mufasas. Mufasa ain't dead. The nigga in jail. The real Mufasa's on earth. A couple of years later, you know what I heard about my friend, my homeboy? He's somebody's girlfriend in prison. Not only that, he's dressed like a woman, bro. He has succumbed to the abuse and the violence that has happened to him in there, bro. He's dressed as a woman, bro. Pippi long stockings, bro. It's not a joke, man. I can tell you tragic stories and serious stories, man. I might laugh and keep humble and have a playful spirit, but I come from a place where there's only sharks on land. They don't swim where I'm from. The sharks walk and run and use their hands and arms. Do you hear me? So I'm not lying to you about this shit, man. Trust me. Help somebody today, man. Don't be about yourself. Look forward to somebody helping somebody today. If you're a man listening to my voice, make sure you're going to help a younger guy. Okay? Talk to him. Drop some jewels on them. Help them not to go through some of the things that you've been through, some of the things that you've seen, not to get caught up in these streets, not to get caught up in the weapons, not to get caught up in the violence, not to get caught up in the D-rugs and all of those things. And if you're a woman listening to my voice, try to help these young girls, these young women out here, help them to not get caught up with the knuckleheads, get caught up into this, carrying D-rugs for somebody, doing all of this, chasing the wrong things out here because you've been through it and you've seen it. We may never get accredited for that, but that's how we get to helping our future because the young people are the future. And listen to what I said. I said, I want the men helping the young men and I want the women helping the young women. We ain't mixing up the spices. Because sometimes people be weird and be a lot of PDF damn energy going on out here and people think they dropping game so that they can use it against a person. I said, I want the men helping the young men and I want the women helping the young women. We separating our damn seasonings here. Peppers over here and salts over here. Push it real good. Dun, 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 dun. You heard what I'm saying to you? Straight. Not joking with y'all. Dead serious about this, man. Salute to the contributors of the stream. Salute to my boy Phil. Salute to everybody in the chat. Here is not an echo chamber. Again, you're able to have your own opinion. You see, I ain't kick nobody for y'all thinking what y'all think. Hopefully, we can just be respectful about our opinions, regardless of any case, any trial, any situation, any video that I'm doing or covering. Everybody's open to have their own opinion on it. We're not into echo chambers. Hopefully, after we all get to conversing about any situation, it will bring us closer to one thought that we could say, you know what, I could kind of agree with you here, and I could kind of agree with you here, and this is what it's all about. It's not about us beefing over things, right? It's about us trying to understand and get to the facts or whatever we deem the facts to be. All right? Shout out to my guy, Blaze. All right? On the walkout. Blaze Brown. I don't know if you're a guy or not. Blaze Brown on the walkout. That part purple, because you know he was rocking that purple out there. Salute to all my people, though, man. I love y'all all, man. Regardless of the fact, man. I love y'all all. And let's just try to get to the facts, man. I'm going to try to bring on some attorneys, maybe a prosecutor, so ex-prosecutor, and different people like that could get to talking to us not only about this case and trial, but other cases and trials as well. I will get on that Luigi Mangione. But one thing again, I'm going to set up a video notification. I'm going to be at Taylor wedding. Taylor Swift with the Swifties. Yeah, bro. I'm outside, homie. So make sure you look for that notification because if you, I'm going to be outside today. I said at Madison Square Garden. Are you dumb? I'm there. Look, I got ops. I'm from New York City. I'm telling you now, fair warning, I'm there. You don't like me? You think you want to underlie me? Send me to the upper room where Jesus come? I'm there. Not scared of a goddamn thing. I'm there. Note. So salute to all my people. I love y'all. Look out for my notifications. You know what I'm saying? And we'll be back, man. Oota, Oota, Oota. On feet. Always on go, man. We always on go, man. Salute to all of y'all. I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all.
All my niggas from the Oota. All my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn racks. All my niggas turn shooters. On the internet, you ain't all my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn racks. All my niggas from the Oota. All my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn racks. All my niggas turn shooters. On the internet, you ain't been a threat. You been stuck in a computer. Show me the proof. All my niggas turn shooters. All my niggas from the Oota. All my niggas from the Oota. All my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn racks. All my niggas turn shooters. On the internet, you ain't been a threat. You been stuck in a computer. Show me the proof. All my niggas turn shooters. All my niggas from the Oota. Welcome to the Oota. All of my niggas insane. They tryna catch a mistake. Young niggas putting in pain. It in the game, all for the game. Niggas ain't playing for nothing. Went in school, laying it bang. My little nigga kill my little nigga. Full-time job not to kill niggas. Jump off the porch of the field, nigga. You was in the house, I'm a field nigga. No fuck boys around real niggas. Been a drug dealer since a little nigga, huh? To get a kilo, they'll kill a nigga. Fuck how you feel, nigga. To get some kilos, I'll kill a nigga too. Throw that rock like I'm Montana. Good head, raise my antennas. G49, not San Fran. Beat the box with my bandana. Then I dip set like I'm Santana. I'm in UK like that Montana. She bring me money, you press her. You gotta jug and finesse her. I give a dick that'll change your life. You leave a change on the dresser. Shorty, a wetty, a wetty. That pussy ready, get ready. Don't wanna get ahead of myself, but I want the head for the Getty. She said she fuck with the Oota. I told her open a Chevy. All my niggas from the Oota. All my niggas